Ecstatic Bliss. Secrets to living a juicy life. Shedding layers of the past. This is today's topic here at Ecstatic Bliss. Secrets to living a juicy life. And it's a very big, huge topic that will most probably haunt us, yes, occupy us our whole life. It's about shedding everything that you are not, that is not your true essence, and that may be the past of this lifetime, if we see time as a linear phenomenon. And it can also be something from past lives. And I would like to give you some inspirations about that topic, how you can shed layers of the past, because I see it always as if the essence is like a gift. Yeah, it's like a gift inside of you, your deepest core. And around this are lots of layers of wrapping paper. And usually from childhood onwards and past lives, if you count that into the equation, we get lots of different wrapping papers that don't reflect what's inside the present. Yes, that don't reflect your essence. And it's about putting all those wrapping papers aside to discover the gift inside of you, your true essence. And if we spin it a little bit further, and that will also be a future topic here in Ecstatic Bliss, is how you actually design your own wrapping papers consciously so they are more in alignment with what you want to experience, or even higher, your higher truth, that it reflects your essence. But today it will be mostly about how to eliminate in a way all those layers that have been given to you or that you have given yourself that block you in your evolution and in your full potential. First of all, maybe looking a little bit back, why we have those layers is most of the time because of conditioning and because of past experiences. Because past experiences bring us to specific thoughts, and those thoughts together are in sum our belief system. And from our belief system, which is based on past experiences and on conditioning, we can evaluate ourselves, others, reality, and also see into the future. We make assumptions about the future based on the past, what we experienced. And there's one big, even I would say three big benefits of this system, how it works, that we use the past for future predictions and also how we behave in the here and now, or what we think about the here and now, is that it gives us a certain safety and security and direction navigation. So by our belief system is in place so we can categorize things, we can distinguish between this is something maybe that is in alignment with me, this is out of alignment, this is good for me, this is bad for me. Yeah, we make distinctions based on our belief system. So it gives us security how to behave in a certain situation or in a certain connection actually always. So it's either the connection with the environment, with yourself, or with someone else. So the belief system per se and the past experiences that have led to the belief system are something very valuable. So it's nothing to be, to say like, oh, I don't want to have this mechanism of always basing my thoughts on my past experiences, because it's an automatism imprinted in all of us. Yes. But if you know the system, how it works, you can consciously, in a way, choose or filter your thoughts, what you seek, what you see as true based on past experiences. So in a way, we run in autopilot oftentimes. So that is also a benefit of it, because it makes it a little bit easier to navigate through life. So we don't have to always make this heavy thinking process, but we can rely on the past, on past experiences and the conclusions we made from it to make the next step, make the next decision, and walk a little bit more easily in life. But yes, it oftentimes, especially if we evolve and we constantly change, we constantly transform, especially if you're in the spiritual bubble, at some point those old outdated beliefs that are based on the past will inhibit your evolution, will block your potential, and eventually we will also block the view on your true essence, on your truth. They will blur the view. It's like clouds. Yeah, this wrapping paper, I see it also as clouds in front of the sun. Yeah, where the sun is your essence and the clouds are the layers blurring what you truly are, what you truly come from, and yeah, where we all return to as well, which is a love frequency. So, shedding layers of the past, if we look at our belief system, actually, it's always, you can say, the first step is to become aware of those beliefs and maybe even where those beliefs come from. Yeah, if you don't know what beliefs you have and where they come from, there's no grip for your consciousness to base your reflections on, and also no grip on anything what to change actually. And not all beliefs obviously are blocking or counterproductive. Yes, it's a distinction between those beliefs that are still valid and those that are blocking you, that are hindering your path. And the first step is always being aware of what you think the whole day. Yeah, a very classical way of becoming aware what you think is meditation, because it brings us to stillness. It forces us maybe even to sit down in our own energy without any distractions, without any to-dos, just to be and feel and sink into your own energy. And if you're more advanced, maybe it also can happen during the day when you wash the dishes or when you are on your bicycle to the supermarket. In each moment, actually, when you are a little bit more trained, so to say, you can sink into your consciousness and deep down, even deeper into your subconsciousness to really get an idea of what is bubbling under the surface. Yeah, because you probably know this iceberg model of Freud, where we have most of our beliefs down under the water. If we see the iceberg in the water, most of it is under the water and, so to say, not visible, not accessible for our everyday life. And only a small amount is actually in everyday consciousness. So it's about bringing what is under the water first to the surface so we can see it and work with it. Yeah, and it's even not only about the past, but I'm talking about that in this particular episode because our beliefs, as mentioned in the beginning, usually stem from our past experiences or from reflections, but also even reflections, I feel, are based on the past, because tapping into the future even is also based on the past, the current or the past. But if you have the now moment and the next now moment, if you see it linear, the last now moment is even also past again. Yeah, if we see it linear. So bringing that what is subconscious into the conscious level, that's the first step. It's as if you see it then on the plate and can see, okay, these are my thoughts. And then you can feel into these are thoughts that are beneficial for me. These help me in my everyday life, or help me to make decisions in alignment with my current truth, with my essence, with my path, my soul journey. And those beliefs are at the moment rather distractive, disturbing, blocking me. Yes. We can also see actually all thoughts at some point they have been of benefit. And even a lot of thoughts now, beliefs, are of some sort of benefit. Otherwise, you wouldn't keep it. Your system wouldn't keep it. But oftentimes they are then pushed aside or down, suppressed, so they are not to the they didn't come to the surface, so we can't see them. And it's about this now moment. What is my truth, and which beliefs are aligned with that truth? So you kind of, when you have it brought to the surface, you make a categorization a little bit of, yes, that's beneficial, that's not beneficial. And that can look in a lot of different ways. Maybe you are a person who journals a lot, or who enjoys journaling. Then it can be a very cognitive process of really listing down your beliefs about a certain topic, maybe even if you want to frame it, if you want to filter it, what's blocking you in a specific life area, for example. Or you sit more in meditation and do an internal reflection where you put it maybe even visually, if you like to work with visualization, with imagination. Maybe you put it in images, in boxes, in drawers, in whatever image works for you, to feel into this selection process. It's really a selection process. Yes. And then it's about, maybe, it's not necessarily, from my experience, it is not a necessity to know where the beliefs come from, but it helps to eliminate them, to make peace with them even first, to maybe even invite forgiveness if that is part of the story. Most of the time, if someone else is involved in you having that belief. And then seeing into which situations of the past, or maybe even one single event, has led me to come to that conclusion, that belief. And also a very valuable help is to look into in your current life, in your current lifestyle or your daily routines. When is that belief triggered? Which situations, or which personalities, which characteristics of persons, or which experiences that you make nowadays trigger that belief, or a belief that blocks you? It has a purpose, otherwise it wouldn't be there. Repeat it again. But it may not be beneficial for your future evolution. So that is one second step after having brought those beliefs to the surface, where you can look at, why do I have them? What for do I have those beliefs? Why are they in my system? And then actually, the third step of it is to reprogram yourself. And I will most probably talk a little bit more in detail in other episodes about the reprogramming concept, because I feel it's a really, really helpful process of seeing your system really as a computer kind of technological thing that is programmed with a certain program. And this program, if you know how the workings are of your system, you can reprogram. You can sort out the bugs, you can clean the space, you can download new codes, you can rewire codes. It's a reprogramming of your system, of your brain, of your nervous system, of all those neural pathways that you can consciously do. And for this, it's beneficial also to, some do it with affirmations. Actually, that's maybe the most common way, or the most, the way that maybe already is known to you, that you feel into what actually do you want to program yourself with. Which beliefs do you want to believe? Yeah, it's a little bit more into a conscious awareness of, what do I actually want to think all day? Obviously, it should be beneficial to your evolution. To not use the past to come to conclusions and to beliefs, but to consciously choose here and now what you want to believe. And that's why I call it reprogramming of your system, reprogramming of past things. It's like rewriting your story. Story writing is also something I really love, which is more a metaphorical or imaginative way of seeing the reprogramming process. So maybe it's more masculine, technological, this reprogramming view. And writing your story, or writing your book, writing your movie, playing your movie is more the feminine approach to it. But basically it helps both, maybe even combined, if you like, to shape your belief system, which in turn shapes your identity, which in turn shapes your reality, your truth, the current perceived reality. And then it's maybe about sitting again down, journaling about, what do I want to think? What do I want to believe? Which affirmations help me in the process? Or some also like to look at the beliefs that you don't want to think again and rewrite them in a positive way. So it's kind of substituting those beliefs. What is also beneficial actually before the rewriting process is to detach yourself and to disidentify yourself from these beliefs, and to detach especially emotions that are stuck to the beliefs. Because if we do think about the past of experiences, it's obviously it's a mix of thoughts and emotions. And emotions are, in my opinion, much stronger than thoughts alone. So if you have the combination of thoughts and emotions, there's a very strong impact. So if you detach the emotion from the original thought and just have the thought, you will have, that thought will have less impact on you. Yes? So a detachment, this identification helps you before you rewire, before you reprogram yourself, because you get distance from it. Usually our belief system is so much wired in our system that we completely merge with it. We completely dissolve into it. We completely identify with it. And if something is part of our identity, our ego has fear to detach, has fear to step out of the known field, has fear to step out of the comfort zone. So detaching also helps you to get a more distant view about yourself, as if you wanted to step out into another person, maybe even, or bird's eye view on yourself, and see like, oh, okay, this makes sense why I actually, also compassion about yourself, why you have this belief, why it evolved, why it's still there, although it blocks you. And then you detach the emotions associated with a thought to come to a pure conscious view about your current program that's running on your system. Yes. And if you have then on the other side, on the one hand, you have your current program, on the other hand, you have your to be program. It's kind of like a little bit making your wish list. What do I want to believe? What are the beliefs that support me on my journey? What are the beliefs of my next level version? Yeah, if you tap into your next level identity and think like, this is actually what my next level or my highest version even would think about certain things or about a specific life area you are working on. Yeah, we can, we can always see it in the small run or in the long-term bigger picture globally on all levels of your being or life areas or specific life areas, which is obviously easier, especially in the beginning, to just start with one life area and then extend your work, your progress, your conscious switching into something new, into the bigger picture. And then, because I said emotions have a very big impact, it may be also something you can look into to charge your new beliefs. Because maybe at first your ego says like, oh, I don't know these beliefs. I have never had this experience. How can I believe it if I have never experienced it? Maybe I've seen it with other people that it's working. I don't know. For example, you want to earn a certain amount of money and you've seen it working with another person, living their purpose, but you have never experienced it. And then your ego says like, I don't know if this is true, if this can ever happen to me. So I rather stick to my old belief of having that amount of money I'm currently earning. And oftentimes even it's not about just sticking to that old belief, but also about justifying why this is more true than that belief that you actually want to believe, that you want to implant in your system. So the ego is very smart, and also the ego will be a topic sometimes here in the podcast, because it's one of the mechanisms that's built into us, but one of the major things that's really blocking our unfolding, our blossoming into our true essence. So charging, what do I mean by charging? It's charging those beliefs, those thoughts you want to think with new emotions. Most of the time, quite clearly, positive emotions. Yeah, positive, negative, we always have in brackets because, it's just a categorization itself again. But something that you associate with the state of being you want to be in. It's about stepping out of your past experiences, of those past emotions, of those past thoughts into a new identity, version, and truth of your reality. Stepping out into something new. And maybe even some do it even in therapy, to do it physically, as if you have one spot. Maybe you use a paper, where you write, this is my old self, my old identity, my old past, or all the beliefs you want to leave in the past. Write it on one paper, and on the other paper you write all the beliefs you want to integrate, or this is my new self, this is my new version, my new reality. You charge that new reality and you detach from that old reality, and then you stand on that old reality. Maybe you feel into it, you thank it, okay, you have had your purpose, but now I'm consciously stepping out of this story into my new story. And you really do physically the step on that piece of paper. Maybe that sounds a little bit funny, but it really does work. If you take it seriously, your system will know, your system will feel. And it also helps to really consciously say, I'm stepping now out of my past story into my new story, into my story now. Not future story, that would be out of your system. Yeah, that would be not now. We want now that story. We want to own it, claim it, allow ourselves to live that new story. And that actually is not only about shedding layers of the past, but also when we come to identity shifting and truth embodiment, it's always and again shedding first what was in the past. You cannot start with the future or with the here and now if you haven't cleared out all the clutter and all the clouds from the past, because they will keep coming back. They will come back and back in your life in different forms until you have solved what needs to be solved, until you have let go of those patterns or beliefs that keep you still in some places, in some parts of yourself. I always like to think of us in parts. We are not just one person. We have so many different parts that want so many different things. Yeah, we are very complex. So those parts that keep you stuck there, you want to clear them out. You want to say like, thank you so much, but I don't need you anymore. I'm stepping into some new parts now because I want to create consciously a new experience for myself. So that's why it's very powerful to really work with your belief system, as we always come back in our everyday life to thoughts and connected with that to emotions. Yeah. So this is, I feel, one key thing that will always, and again, it's not done with one time, because always even if you stepped into your new version, maybe even half a year later, you have already grown out that version, and then you can do the thing again. And at some point, even you don't really have to put an effort in it. It just becomes something very natural to you, that you clear out directly some beliefs that are not part of your new identity anymore. That's why I love identity shifting. That's why I offer identity shifting mentorings, truth embodiment mentorings, because it's so, so valuable. No matter if you have financial problems, if you have health problems, if you have relationship problems, or whatever problems or challenges, it always comes back to finding back to your true essence, to your true truth. And to align back to soul frequency. Because if you fully aligned with your soul, there's nothing to worry about. The worry comes from the ego. If you're in your soul alignment, everything's bliss. And that's what we are here for. Yes, what I'm talking about, why I'm talking about that topic, to come to that blissful, juicy life. And that's pure soul alignment. Because soul is connected to the divine, and the divine is pure love, is pure unconditional love and bliss and joy and whatever, how we perceive it as a human being, at least. Yeah, it's just terminologies. I think even the state of being of the divine, we cannot really put in words. It's something to be experienced and to be stored in your system. And sometimes we get even glimpses in it in some life experiences. And then maybe you can charge your new belief system, your new identity, your new truth with these emotions you felt, with this state of being you felt when you have been in a bliss state, in a glimpse of a bliss state. Yes. So a little bit to repeat, it's kind of 3 steps. The first step is to identify your beliefs. These beliefs also, especially that block you, that hinder you, that restrict you. Yeah, a little bit like a categorization, which beliefs are outdated, which are no longer valuable, no longer benefiting your soul path, your soul evolution. First step, bringing those to the surface from the subconscious into the conscious so you can work with them. And the second step is to a little bit more have a closer look on those thoughts, which emotions are connected with them, to detach from those emotions, to maybe switch to another perspective of yourself, bird's eye view, third eye person, that you detach from those thoughts and emotions. Maybe if it helps to see where those emotions and thoughts come from, those belief system, if it's conditioning, if it's one-time experience, if it's a repeated pattern in your life. And then the third step is to define your new belief system, the beliefs you want to think, maybe based on those you don't want to think. Yeah, affirmations like reversed of the ones that you don't want to think anymore. Meditative processes, guided things. Hypnosis is also a very valuable tool to dig deep into your subconscious, retrieve those beliefs, and then work with them oftentimes also inner child healing is a part of it. So many techniques. It's more like a framework I'm giving you today. It's not the whole scenario, and there are different paths to go it. And also in the third step, to consciously make that choice and allow yourself to make that choice to step out of your old story into the new story, from the old belief system into the new belief system. And oftentimes, maybe, in the future, I will talk about it a little bit more. It's a 3-step process most of the time. The past, the future, if we take it linear, and the bridge. What is my past? What is the future or my ideal? What is my current state? What, maybe not even the past. Yeah, you can also say, what's my current state of being? What is my future state of being? My dream being? And how to get from A to B, the bridge. And the bridge is usually the solution and can have many outlets, can look very different for each one. I mean, something works for one, the other something else. So finding a solution and bridging from A to B, from as is to be, is the main task to work, to unleash, to discover for yourself. Yes, that was a little round about shedding layers of the past. I hope you remember that always and again, you have this essence as a core, and that will never change, that has always been there, that will always be there. No matter how many wrapping paper layers you have around you, it is always there. It's just our task throughout life to shed layer by layer by layer. And obviously, we are also here as a human being to experience different identities, to play with them, to discover unknown parts of ourselves. But then it's about consciously creating some layers and dropping them again as well. Yeah, it's a playfulness in a way. I see it like this, to play with your layers, with your essence. You cannot really play with your essence, but with the identities, with the layers you have around yourself. So I hope you start playing. I hope this content was valuable for you today. And I hope we see each other next time again here at Ecstatic Bliss. So much love to you and so much bliss.